Dave Hemmings here from NaturesPhotoAdventures. You know, I want to share something with you. I was asked a question the other day and I think it was kind of funny. And the question I asked is, how do I know which piece of equipment to buy when I go into a camera store? I want to get into SLR cameras, and I want to get into the exchangeable lenses, but which piece of equipment do I buy? How many megapixels do I need? What is the difference between a $1,000 camera and a $5,500 camera? Well, the simple answer to this is there's lots of differences. And what you buy and what you need will depend on a few things, such as your budget, how much photography you're going to do, and what you want to get out of your camera. But one thing I can tell you is this, that no matter what SLR camera you buy today, all of them can do a fantastic job at taking good images. When you start getting into the higher end cameras, there's things like faster autofocus systems. They may be weatherproofed more, and they probably do some of the things a lot better than maybe the lower end or entry-level cameras don't do. But I can tell you that all of them have more than enough megapixels, and for today's purposes, for most of us, all of these cameras take fantastic pictures. So don't get too confused about it. Try to keep it simple, and try to think about what you're going to need your equipment for when you become a little overwhelmed with all the choices out there about which camera to buy. Hi everybody, Dave Hemmings here from NaturesPhotoAdventures. You know, one of the things I'm often asked by people who are just getting into nature photography as a hobby and just starting out and looking to buy new equipment, one of the most common questions I get asked is, Dave, which manufacturer should I use? Should I buy Canon? Should I buy Nikon? Should I buy Sony? Should I buy one of the myriad of manufacturers that are out there? And my answer is usually the same. When you're looking at the top two manufacturers in the DSLR game, if you will, there's really two major players right now. One is Canon and one is Nikon. And yes, it is pronounced Nikon, not Nikon. I said Nikon for years, but I was corrected by somebody from Nikon's head office that the proper pronunciation is actually Nikon, not Nikon. So I'm going to try to stick to Nikon. Let me tell you this about Canon and Nikon. They're both really good manufacturers. They both make fantastic equipment. They all have both of them have a huge range of interchangeable lenses for their SLR bodies. You cannot really go wrong when you're trying to choose between Canon and Nikon. Sometimes it might be a preference. Maybe a friend is using Canon and somebody else is using Nikon, and you may prefer one or the other just because you've seen them or you've had them in your hand before. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have a better system than somebody using the other manufacturer's make. So when you're thinking about which one to buy, remember this. If you want to choose a Canon or a Nikon, they're very comparable in many ways. I happen to shoot Canon, but I just grew up using Canon and I'm very comfortable with it. I have used Nikon because I like to know both manufacturers to be able to help my students out as much as I can in knowing both manufacturers' cameras and lenses. So if you want the most choice of interchangeable lenses and probably the most advancements in the bodies of the SLR cameras, then you're probably going to want to look at Canon or Nikon. There are other players in the industry. Sony is one of them now. Not too long ago they purchased Minolta, and they're becoming more of a player in the digital SLR world. So they're certainly worth a look, and they certainly do make good equipment. But I can say that you will have more choice and more functions from your cameras, and a lot more to choose from at this point anyways, if you look at Canon or Nikon.